Now in Kenya, the youth has warned of fresh protests unless President William Ruto resigns. Ruto has been scrambling to contain the fallout of daily protests against proposed tax hikes after last month's peaceful rallies descended into violence. In the latest move to diffuse tensions, Ruto on Thursday dismissed all cabinet ministers with the exceptions of his foreign minister and deputy president. But the announcement, while welcomed, did not appease some young Kenyans frustrated with Ruto's failure to deliver on his 2022 election promise to create jobs and boost the economy. Jackson Ndirangu is a journalist on the ground in Kenya and joins us now to talk more on the growing calls for President William Ruto to resign. Jackson, appreciate your time. Thanks so much for speaking to us. Over the days, President William Ruto seems to have been forced to eat some humble pie, certainly by the Gen Z and the rights, I suppose, and them coming out in full force all over Kenya, fighting against this bill initially.
Yes, it is. It is no longer about the finance bill right now. It was about the finance bill, but after he withdrew the finance bill, it's no longer about the finance bill. It has sort of upgraded itself. We want more demands. The Gen Z want more demands. We as a country, we have more demands. Demands that are not just about the finance bill, but demands that have historical injustices. Our money has been squandered, governance, security, a lot is not going well. So it's no longer about the finance bill. Back to you.
So President William Ruto, in a bid to deal with this, obviously dealt with the finance bill initially. He pulled budgets, including the budget from the office of the First Lady and the Second Lady to some degree. He's now fired all but 2 individuals from his cabinet. It seems that even this has not appeased the people of Kenya, particularly the Gen Z.
Yes, it does not. It still hasn't pleased the Gen Zs and the people of Kenya because the people of Kenya say for a very long time we'll be silent about some things that are happening. So slowly they put in some amount here and there, they put in some money here and there, but this money is not for helping us. This money is not for us. This money is actually for their pockets. So we have new demands. The Gen Zs have new demands. The people of Kenya have new demands, which are, by yesterday, we wanted the Inspector General fired, and he's already resigned. So step by step, we're heading there. And the new demands happening by next Tuesday, the ones that we want because of the protest, we want the release of the arrested free protests who are actually doing the free protests, people who are arrested, and we want the arrest of police involved in killings. There are police who will be involved in killing innocent people, innocent kids. We want them arrested and want the IBC reconstituted and working. And also want the ministries reduced from all the way from 22, all the way to 15. We can do it, and we are able to do it.
Jackson, you talk about we. Do you speak as a Kenyan, or do you speak as a member of the Gen Z, one of the individuals who's advocating and pushing for these various changes?
So first of all, my age betrays me, so I can't speak as a Gen Z, but I speak as a Kenyan who has been here for a while, and a Kenyan who, by the end of the month, I remit some taxes. So we speak as one. It started as Gen Zs, but it's no longer about the Gen Zs. It's now all of us who've come together and said, the Gen Zs have just opened the door, but we are ready to pass through that door and help them achieve the goal, all of us together.
So there's obviously an avalanche. This train has gathered momentum, which seems unstoppable at this point. Walk us through some of those demands. You've mentioned a couple. There is a growing belief that Kenyans are also calling for the resignation of President William Ruto.
Yes. So one thing I can tell you is that the overall year-by-year inflation rate, as measured by the Consumer Price Index, is at 6.9% as of January 2024, while it's meant to be, 2% as normal as it is. So and the lending rate is at 16%. Where we are right now, the cost of living in Kenya is way too high, and we really can't continue like that. There's something we say in Kenya, in Swahili, we say punda amechoka, meaning the donkey is tired. We can no longer carry this load. We can no longer move on the way we are. we've gone to a point where if they're eating our money, they better go. If they're squandering our money, they better go. So these demands have built up over time. It's not something that came up last year or last week. It has built up over time, but we haven't been in a position where we are ready to address it because we've been in a sort of a struggle with the cost of living. But the kind of demands we have, for example, reducing ministries from 22 to 15, is something that's doable. Some of these people who are put in these ministries are because of kickbacks, are because of you're my guy, you come, so you're going to take care of this ministry. Okay, sawa. But that is not what we want. We want technocrats in these departments. It's not about friendship. We want people who actually have the experience to go about it. If we're taking someone, for example, the cabinet secretary of tourism, we want someone who has the experience to go about it. Not because you've seen animals before you've gone to a national park, because you're actually made for that job and you're a professional in that job.
So where's the middle ground? Now, assuming that President William Ruto decides that he's not ready to resign, he's obviously indicated that he's prepared to make changes, and he's made significant changes. How much work has gone in from Gen Z and individual and Kenyans like yourselves in coming up with what you feel is a workable plan? Now, you've talked about you want technocrats in these positions in Parliament or in the various political offices. Do you have technocrats in your own meetings who are coming up with plausible plans? Because it's one thing to say we want 15 ministries when 15 ministries aren't practical.
Yes, thank you very much. Where we are right now is that the people who we have seen things happening all over Kenya. We have seen militia killing people in the provinces. And you see the people in charge of this are the cabinet secretaries. And they are the people advising the president. And if the president is not getting advice by people who are technocrats, then he needs to find the technocrats. Then it is his job. We chose him to get technocrats who can do it for us. I believe there are technocrats. I believe there are people who can actually do it. And it's no longer about family. It's no longer about friendship. It's about work. So where we stand, yes, we do know they are, but then it's not our job. It's the president's job to go about it, because then that is his jurisdiction. But over time, we've had meetings with him over X space, and we've had a discussion. We've given out that grievances that we are not happy of the governance. And where we are right now, he keeps choosing the wrong people in these specific departments. And you see what Gen Zs are doing? They're pointing out the wrong things, which means we are aware of the wrong things and we know how we want them done. So for him, is to follow the constitution and get the right people for the job.
And finally, before we let you go, Jackson, talk to us about the constitution of this grouping that started off as the Gen Z and obviously has widened to include individuals such as yourselves and other Kenyans who are calling for change. I mean, who's calling the shots? Who's deciding what happens and when it happens?
So one thing you should know, the Gen Zs are leaderless, the Gen Zs are tribeless, the Gen Zs are faceless. Gone are the days where if you want to get into our protests, you need to get your people. You need to get people and they need to be funded. Where we are right now, the Gen Zs are not funded. The Gen Zs have come together. It started as just a protest where 2 or 3 people, all over 100, 200, 300 came and said, we want to go and tell the parliament that we're not happy about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they did. The first protest was just Gen Zs below the age of 18 all the way to 22. And over time, the next protest, people said, no, we have to join you because it's our right. You are our kids. So we can't let you go just by yourselves. So we are at a point where no one is funding this, the protest. People who are funding the protest are we ourselves. So the government has been, over time, has been abducting youths, asking them, who is funding you? We need to know
and obviously that speaks to some of the issues that you raised a little bit earlier. Jackson Ndirangu, journalist on the ground in Kenya, and also a member of this grouping of individuals that is calling for change in Kenya. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much for speaking to us.